So we don't normally eat this much, but we thought, let's bring up two things of our pork and give you guys our end, how do we feel about raising Idaho pasture pigs.
Yeah,
both
this
from
is like 2 meals worth of food we cooked up.
Yeah, both from a cost perspective and a taste perspective.
Yeah, sounds good. We got a lot of questions. We posted the video of pig basically taking all the meat we got back from the processor, putting it in our fridge and our freezer, and telling you guys about it. And we got a lot of comments and a lot of questions, and we had questions, so we thought let's cook some up, eat it, share with you guys how it tastes, and try to answer some of your questions that you guys had from the previous video.
So we chose ham steaks and pork chops because they were probably our least favorite cuts from the red wattles. So we thought it would be a fair assessment to say, is that normal, not being commercially raised, or was it just the processor, using a different processor, different type of meat? So a lot of different variables, right? This is a different pig and a different processor.
Right, but we fed them almost essentially the same, right? We used the same food for both breeds.
Yeah, both breeds. Different inputs, though, completely, with respect to how much feed it cost pigs to raise. So we want to try it kind of by itself. But then we have baked beans, and I made some sweet potato biscuits to go with our lunch. So what did you try first? The ham?
Mm-hmm.
No seasonings were added, right? We just cooked it.
Yeah, I just cooked it right out of the package, cast iron, and it tastes just like ham. I mean, it's not like the last ham that we had. It seemed like no matter how we cooked it, whether we cooked it fast, slow, long, short, no matter what we did, it was dry. Mm-hmm. Dry ham. Mm-hmm. And it always had tons of like red speckly stuff in it. Remember, it always had like that red speckly, like it had like blood in it, like they didn't get bled out properly or something.
Yeah,
but
we haven't seen that with any of this pork that we've gotten back. And I think that that's a sign of how well the pig drains out. Mm-hmm. Drains out. Oh, this is real. I just had a really, really juicy bit. Mm-hmm. This is really good.
If you get some of the fat in with it, so good and so smoky.
Mm. Guys, it's really, really good. Like, I'm sucking. Like, it's so juicy.
Because normally, like, if you go like buy a Christmas ham from the store and there's fat on it, you normally don't eat it because it gets all rubbery. This fat just melts.
Yeah. And it has thin little marbles throughout it, so nice. Very nice. I'm liking it. I'm going to move on to the pork chop. Are you ready? Let's get... No? Okay.
Go ahead. I got to cut some up.
All right. So this one I'm really excited about because I really do like pork chops. And would we get these cut at 3/4 of an inch thick? Wow. Night and day difference.
Yeah?
Honestly, this pork chop is, it's a very pinky red meat. Not as white as... Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need anything else. Excellent smokiness.
The salt and the smoke is perfect.
Wow, guys, that is great. I know that was some of the feedback that we got when I was discouraged how little ground meat we've gotten back, and to give us advice on how you guys do your cut sheets. And somebody said that they gave up a lot of their pork chops for more ground meat. And we were wondering, well, let's see how good these taste before we make that decision. That is good.
Mm-hmm. And the other decision we made this time around that we didn't do previously was we said of all the pork chops, we want them all smoked. Mm-hmm. Smoked, cut them 3/4 of an inch, 2 per package. And that's exactly the way they delivered them. And it's more the smoke part is just more for convenience. We can smoke our own pork chops. We have a smoker.
Yeah.
But just to have something that's already smoked, ready to eat, all you got to do is warm it up from the freezer. For one of our pork loins.
Yeah.
Is perfect.
And I think you will just, if it's something that you're planning for the first time, guys, look at these sweet potato biscuits. Oh, those look so good. You would definitely save money by choosing to not smoke your meat.
Very
That is
true.
a different cost. So, oh my goodness, Rachel. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yes. And when we went to the Amish store, they had honey butter. So that's what I'm putting on mine. What was I saying? Oh, saving money for cost, right? So definitely do what's right for you. I mean, guys, you know, in our house, we've shared with you many, many times, we are convenience food preservers. We like ready-made foods. So when I can, I always think about what's going to be quick and easy to pull off the shelf, because some nights we work really long nights, and it's nice to be able to just grab and go type meals. And these pork chops, I mean, you saw how quick. I don't know if it's going to be on time, but it's literally like 2 or 3 minutes on each side, and they're done and ready.
Right. Since they're smoked, they're basically already cooked. You just have to warm them up. I suppose you could even thaw them and just eat them cold if you really had to.
Right. Oh, Lord have mercy. Thank you, Jesus. So, what are some other questions, though, that you guys asked in our pork haul video? Oh, a lot of people are concerned about that much food being in our freezer. And will it really last 2 years without being freezer burnt? So we do have backup power sources. We've got our solar generator or solar battery now, and we also have your Honda generator.
Yep.
And we have had to use that before in cases of power outages, and it works just fine. We kind of cycle it through the 3 freezers down there, and it's enough to keep as long as you're not, opening and closing it too much during a power outage.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as like the meat lasting, the vacuum sealing from this processor is definitely superior to what we did the last time. In fact, I think you pulled one of our old hams recently from the last batch of pigs from 2 years ago, and the shrink wrap had like kind of broken its seal, and so it was all loose, and there was some freezer burn on that. These vacuum seal bags, the packaging seems a lot thicker, and it seems sealed way better.
Yeah, I think I'll definitely. It's something to be aware of, though, right? So, of course, not optimal for food security, but it's how we can effectively use our time and our management style on our farm. Is we raise certain protein sources every other year. So this year, while pigs are off farm, we'll be raising turkeys. Those will be our turkeys for the next 2 years. And I just canned up a whole turkey from 2 years ago, and there wasn't an ounce of freezer burn on it. I think it just depends on how well you get that vacuum seal and how well it holds during your freezer. So it's something just to monitor. We'll monitor our situation, and if we see a vacuum seal gets broken, we'll pull it out and use it, or decide to can it up if it's a great amount.
Another question you guys had was cut sheets. So our processor that we used allows you to take a hog and split it in half into 2 cut sheets. So with 2 hogs, 2 pigs, we ended up with 4 cut sheets. We saved them. We always save them. I will try to take a picture of them very soon, and we'll put them on our Facebook page. So if you want to see, assuming you can read the guy's handwriting that filled it out for us, assuming you can read all that, those will be on our Facebook page for you to check out if you want to see kind of how we did it. So with 4, we were dealing in 25% of a pig at a time. So we made the decision, okay, let's do this 25% ground pork, and kind of broke it down that way.
Right.
And it seemed like a pretty efficient way to do it if your processor will let you break it down that far.
Right. So, let's talk cost now. Are you ready to talk cost?
I think so.
Okay.
If there was more questions and we didn't answer them, throw them in the comments. We'll try to address them there. But you calculated costs yesterday, right?
I'm chewing.
And you could, most processors, just to let you know, you already briefly mentioned it, they will charge you a flat rate by the pound to process your meat. Let's make up a number. Let's say they charge you $1 per pound. If you get meat smoked, that's usually a premium, and it might cost $1.30 for everything you have smoked instead of $1. So that's kind of where you get into a little bit of, you can reduce costs by not having anything smoked.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so let me just double check a number real quick before I get into this. So I got it all broken down, and I'll do it exactly like I did my red wattles when it comes to feed. I'm going to assume an average of feed input, because when they are babies, they're eating so small versus when they're adults, but it averages out over the lifespan.
Okay.
Okay, so the feeders, we paid $100 a piece for them, so that's $200. Feed, $4.20, so that is about $15 a week is what I did over their lifespan of their time here. So what they were eating when they first arrived was maybe like a half a pound of food twice a day, a pound a day. By the time that they left farm, they were eating, I would say right at 4 to 5 pounds once a day. So I learned a lot raising Idaho pasture pigs for the first time, and I'm going to share that with you. So I said $420 for feed. Our processing cost was $390. So that's, let me just do my math one more time. Okay, so that puts us at our all-in cost of $1,010. And I know that sounds like, that's a lot.
From start to finish, spread over the course of
7 months on
7
farm.
months.
Yeah, so they were 8 weeks when we got them. So total of 9 months old. Their hanging weights, again, just to remind you, were 182 and 159. So that gets us back to, oh, I lost that number. What is that?
Per pound?
Yeah.
It was like $2.96.
$2.96 per pound.
Based off of hanging weight.
Right, based off hanging weight. Of course, that brings us to another comment. A lot of people said, hey, I didn't see the hocks, the feet, the head, the bones. Guys, we only have so much space and so much time to process so much food, right? So our purpose is to primarily grow our staples meat. We did not get the head back. We did get the hocks back, and I did not get the bones back. So I understand that those are all very, very valuable resources to add to nutritional sources for your homestead. As you can see, we ran out of freezer space. I would have no room to put all those bones, nor the time right now to process them. I will save every ounce of bone that we get from this. It will be bagged up in a freezer, and once I have enough, I'll be making my ham broth with that. So just something to consider when you're thinking about raising pigs for the first time. Now, I did go back and watch our red wattle pig video, and I was surprised at the difference in feed cost. So it really was significant. So I'm happy.
Yeah, me too.
I love
the flavor.
We've also cooked bacon.
Yeah, yesterday. The day after we brought them home for breakfast, you cooked up bacon for me. Very good. It seemed, you had to feel like when you laid it out on the pan, you were like, that seems like a lot of fat. But it cooked up wonderful. The fat got all crispy and did a great job. We did get back, if you compare pigs from this time to last time, we asked back for the liver this time and the heart, which is in the freezer. I don't know what we're going to do with it yet. Never cooked pig heart before, but we'll come up with something. Last time, the first time we did pigs, we asked for a couple extra things back, like the ears. We thought it would make good dog treats. They sat in our freezer for 2 years. We just found it the other day. I threw them in the oven this morning, cooked them up. So we're going to give those to the dogs later. After I think I got to cut them up smaller. So there are uses for just about every part of it, but you got to weigh
time
and the resources and the amount of space you have for all of this stuff.
Right.
Do you even like it? I mean, I've never had head cheese before, but I don't know if I would like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, to each his own. You guys run your homestead the way that you want to, and we'll share with you how we're running ours, and if it makes sense for you, definitely do it. Just right now, I mean, we work full-time jobs, and we have limited resources to store stuff. So,
So you did learn.
Oh yes. Okay.
You did learn some more about the overall weight and the shape and the size of the Idaho pasture pigs. This was our first time raising Idaho pasture pigs. We got them from a local breeder here in Michigan. Cardinal Farms is the name of the lady's business. That she's a breeder, and I think halfway through raising them, you had a little bit of concerns about their shape and their cheeks, because Idaho pasture pigs are a crossbreed between Cooney and Berkshire. And ours had a very Cooney
right
shape, and
like they almost to the point, like Cooney's heads are down like a lot. These pigs could almost like not, their heads couldn't come up like a standard hog would. And so I was noticing like these are predominantly Cooney gene traits that my pigs were carrying. It didn't concern me, but I knew I would get back an overly fatty pig from, and not to judge it, right? Because I know she was just starting her breeding program and weaning out overly excessive Cooney genes. So I was happy to take, feeders off of her while she works on her gene pool. So with that, I posted, and there is a Facebook group called Idaho Pasture Pigs. I think that's what it's called. And it's a really wonderful Facebook group, very highly engaged folks. And I posted a picture of my bacon, both in the package, laid out, and cooked. And I wanted to get people's feedback. Like, is this what it's supposed to look like? So heavily fatted? And also provided my hanging weights. And I said, is that good? Is that bad? Like, I have no baseline. I don't know. And I got tons of great feedback. Ultimately, the consensus is I overfed them on grain. As much as I thought I was really rationing their serving sizes, they gained weight probably too fast at certain points in their time. And there's really smart people on there that can look at like the texture of the fat and be like, that's not good fat.
How smooth it is versus how bumpy it is and stuff like that.
And but all in all, they said it for all of us. It's been a learning process to learn how to raise these out, slow and steady. Oh, and another thing was definitely go the 10 to 11 months with Idaho pasture pigs, because their growth rate from that 9-month to the 11-month period drastically changes, and they lean out a little bit. So I think I'm definitely going to raise Idaho pasture pigs again, just simply for, number one, we love the meat, even though it might be a little bit fattier in the bacon house. It's still wonderful.
And they could change too if we would have raised them longer, like the people said.
They could have, yeah.
Their shape changes over that last period of time.
And sorry, I just took a bite.
It's okay.
How'd you like the beans, though?
The beans?
Yeah.
They're very good.
People have asked about the baked beans that we did, and they're definitely thick, but they definitely still have a lot of bean in it.
They're very good, but these biscuits, these are good biscuits.
Yeah, they are.
That honey butter on there,
Yeah.
man.
Nice crispy edges,
Good
too.
job.
Thank you.
There will be, either before this video or after this video, the biscuit video.
Yeah. So Idaho Pasture Pigs, definitely, again, I'm going to just really work harder to improve my feed management. There's things I need to learn about managing their feed better, and probably a longer grow out period. Get them sooner in the season so we're not pushing so far into winter, because winter housing is difficult here for us a little bit. So thanks, guys, for coming and having lunch with us today and getting a full review of what we thought about our pigs. I'll put all the numbers that I mentioned down below in case you want to reference back to what we shared.
I'm going to eat that other pork chop. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
And whatever we have left over, we'll just have for dinner tonight. You think we covered everything?
I think so.
All right.
Bye, guys.
See you later. If we missed something, put it in the comments. We'll try to help you out. This is the good side.
Yeah, I know. These biscuits are